Hey everybody, this is Olga with askyoursoul.org, and today I thought we could do something positive for a change. I mean, well, not really for a change, but I just thought it would be cool to do a video on what people love about you. So I'll be using these three decks. This is my most recent edition. Well, actually this is my most recent edition, but this was the one I got before that last one, basically. It's a really cute deck. I'm gonna include all of the links below the video for you guys. But, well, I guess I'm just gonna probably pull one card for each pile from this one, and we'll see what happens. I am back with three piles. This is gonna be pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So whichever one you feel the most called to, and whichever one just maybe like popped into your mind and you saw a number, or you just had an inkling that, ooh, I should choose this pile. Just go with that feeling. Don't overanalyze anything. It's honestly about your intuition more than anything else. Okay, so hopefully you've had the chance to choose one of the piles, and of course I'm going to include all of the timestamps below the video. And let's go with pile number 1 and see what people love about you. And this one we're gonna actually read at the end. So let's see. Leg up. And then these are Carolyn Mace's archetype cards, which are pretty interesting as well. Companion and Damsel. Okay, so there are a few things I'm getting from this. I would say that something that makes you really awesome and likable is that you're not a selfish person at all. You're always kind of ready to help people out, and especially when you see that they really need your help, you're there for them, and you're always open to helping people. And of course people love that. You know, that's kind of what makes us good friends, right? Like being there for people when they really need you. And you're also very authentic. You're very real. You're not one of those people who's like trying to show up as someone that they're not. And it's very appealing. You know, it's really funny. I keep thinking about this in terms of like job interviews, because no matter how, like, this is just from my experience, because I've had quite a few job interviews in my life. But what I've noticed is that the more authentic you are in the job interview, I mean, obviously that means, of course, you have to be prepared, you have to do your research, you have to do what you have to do, but that part of yourself that makes you unique is exactly what makes you stand out in the interview, like at the end of the day. And people feel it, like they feel you being authentic or not authentic, and it's so freaking attractive when somebody's not afraid to be themselves and like crack a joke or two, you know? Because usually during an interview everything's so formal and so serious. I mean, I guess it depends like where you're applying, but for the most part they're, you know, it's this whole process of like, they want to see how you react to things, they want to see how your personality is, they want to see just how you're able to interact with them, and that's the whole point. So you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be perfect for them. Just kidding, sort of. But seriously, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be your best self. The self that if you're looking at this person, you're like, wow, I want them on my team. Like, I want to hire them. Doesn't matter for what. There's just this charisma and attractiveness in people who are not afraid to be themselves, you know? So that's something that people love about you as well. There's also some element of like confidence, especially in the face of events where it's really hard to be like positive and confident about stuff, but you're like, no, we will get through this, this is gonna be fine, you know. Yes, maybe it's crazy right now, but eventually everything's for the best. We're gonna make this work somehow. I'm also getting that you're kind of independent, you know. You're not like a super clingy person that drives people crazy like in relationships, you know what I mean? Because it's really hard to become, it's really easy to become clingy when you're in love with somebody and you're just so obsessed with this person. So, of course, like, you can't help it, basically. But you're very good at this. You're just like, nope, you know, I still have myself that I need to take care of, and, like, here's what's important to me. And basically, you know your priorities, especially in relationships. And I just love the fact that you're probably a really good friend, because you're so loyal and You make people feel like they can do anything, like they feel comfortable around you. They feel comfortable telling you stuff, they feel comfortable sharing some things that they probably wouldn't share with others. And you just make them feel like, first of all, everything's gonna work out, and that they also have to be themselves, and that if they ever need help, you're gonna be there to give them this help. So yeah, you seem like a really cool person. Nice to meet you virtually. And now let's see like what the last card has to say. And I haven't used this deck before actually, so I'm really curious to see what it says. Okay. Loneliness. When you stop fearing your aloneness, you stop settling for less than you deserve. May I embrace and love my solitude, and that's when kindred spirits can finally come. That's so cool. I hope this resonates with you, because that's the reason I picked these cards for this reading, is because it's more about what can you work on still, like what can you consider to make yourself even better. So I love this, and if you feel like you hate being alone, I think this message is for you. I think it's here just to remind you to embrace your ability to be independent. Okay, so I guess there's kind of a thin line between being independent and feeling lonely. And so I hope you're not on the loneliness side of things. But if you are, this is to remind you that once you stop focusing on that, on the fact that maybe there's not as many people or friends around you as you would like, that's when they can all come in. And that's when this is basically just all a part of you becoming your true self, truly blossoming into who you are. And the more you embrace your ability to be independent, the better. So I hope this resonated with you all, and that you're not afraid to really step into who you are. And it looks like you're a very interesting, authentic, cool person. So I hope you're just more aware of the fact that loneliness is also here to teach you something about yourself. Okay, I think that's it for pile number 1. And now we're gonna have to move to pile number 2. And again, I hope this resonated with you guys, and feel free to reach out to me via askyoursoul.org, or I would love to hear your comments and suggestions under this video. Have an amazing day or night. Okay, now we're gonna do pile number 2, and we're gonna read this one last. Let's see what we got here. Peace, Chompwood, Observer, and then we have this Carolyn Mace's archetype cards. This one says Networker, and this one says Priest. Very interesting. Okay, so what I'm getting from these is that people love about you the fact that, first of all, you're a hard worker. Like if something needs to get done, people know that they can trust that if they ask you to do it, you're gonna do it. And you're not afraid of hard work. You're actually pretty comfortable with it. And it's a really good, it's a really positive thing to have someone with you who's like not lazy and who's like ready to jump in and do whatever needs to be done. I feel like you're also very good with stress. Like when it comes to dealing with stress, you are able to compose yourself and kind of focus on what needs to be done to get through the situation instead of just like freaking out. You're basically able to like become the observer of a situation and figure out, what do I need to do to make this happen? What do I need to do to resolve whatever problem this is? Another awesome thing about you is that you are one of those people who loves to connect others, and I hope you can see these. Networker. You're able to connect people and help them get whatever they need. Like, so you're maybe one of those people where you're like an opinion leader on certain things, and your friends, for instance, like they can come to you to ask for advice and be like, hey, can you recommend me like a good whatever doctor or like a good whatever, and they trust your opinion, and you're like, okay, yeah, sure, like here you go, let me connect you to. And that's what's awesome, because we really need more of that in our world. We are all interconnected on a spiritual, deepest level possible, but we often forget about it because we live in a material universe and shit gets real and we just forget what's important, basically. I'm sure you know. So yeah, the fact that you can actually connect people and never hesitate to make these connections is what's really awesome about you. And another thing is, you may be more spiritual than you realize you are. Because sometimes what you say to people is basically, this is what their guides are telling them. That's what their guides want them to know, and they choose you as a channel for that because for whatever reason, you're able to get through to them. And so that's really important. So a lot of people really need you to be there for them, to tell them stuff, basically, because you're channeling this energy from their guides that maybe if another person told them, they just wouldn't, like, just wouldn't register. So yeah, so you seem like a really interesting person. You seem like someone who's really helpful and who likes being helpful to people, who likes to connect them. And you're very, I don't know, I get the feeling that you're very straight up about stuff and you just tell them like it is. And, you can basically say whatever the heck you want, but the true work is in doing so diplomatically in a way that wouldn't hurt another person and wouldn't make them feel like shit. So I hope that's what you're doing because it is an amazing quality to be very straight up with people and not being afraid to tell the truth and being like a good observer of what's going on and what needs to be said. But again, it's just really important to focus on how you do it to make people feel loved and understood. I think that's kind of a challenge for a lot of people from my experience. And then, okay, let's see the last card from this newer deck I got. True love. Your wholeness and safety lie within, not from a partner. But the sovereignty actually leads to the deepest intimacy for you to stop using others. Let me stand on my own feet, dear Lord, and know true love. That is so beautiful. This is why I'm reading these cards last, because they're basically kind of an advice or, what you have room for improvement in. And it just looks like it's really encouraging you to become more independent, if possible, to find your own power within and not to depend on people as much, whether it's your partner or your friends or whatever, but just knowing that when you trust yourself to become the person you want to be, that's exactly what's going to happen, and you're going to start attracting opportunities and people who are going to be what you need at the moment. But it's important not to get obsessed with somebody, you know what I mean? It's important not to let any relationship control who you are inside, who you authentically are. I think that's the main message. It's about you being true to yourself and believing that, you can make anything happen, really. You're actually very powerful. And yes, maybe you do need that connection, and especially a love connection, but it doesn't mean that it has to completely change your whole life in a way where, you lose yourself. Because I feel like that happens a lot, especially when you fall in love so deeply. You just end up losing yourself there. So that's why it's important to really remember that you are still your own person, to stand on your own 2 feet, and to trust that you know what to do, even by yourself, whether you're with a partner or not. You are your own person, you know where you stand, and you're actually pretty freaking awesome, if I may say so myself. Okay. So I think we are done with pile number 2. I hope this reading resonated with you. I would love to hear your comments or feedback or suggestions for future readings as well. And if you enjoyed this, please, I'm begging you, subscribe to my channel and like the video. You know how that goes. Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I look forward to doing more readings for you soon. Bye! Okay, and we're moving on to pile number 3 with this beautiful purple angel. That's amethyst, by the way. And we're gonna read this one last because it's kind of more of an advice card. And let's see what we got here. Serendipity, mending, no place like home. And then I have 2 Caroline Myss's archetype cards. Advocate and Mystic, very interesting. Well, this is super cool. So I feel like one of the reasons people love being next to you is because you're a very kind-hearted, friendly person who's always trying to turn all the negative situations into like more positive ones. And if somebody around you is fighting, or if you yourself are in an argument, you're in a conflict or something, you're always trying to find a way to fix that situation in a nice way, you know. And people also love the fact that they can be themselves around you, kind of allow them to be completely authentic and to not be afraid to express who they are. And it just makes them feel so comfortable. They love the fact that you are so connected with the divine. You are one of those people who's probably very interested in like all the metaphysical stuff, and maybe even mediumship or anything related to psychic abilities. And people can feel it, and they feel empowered by that in you somehow. You're also very kind. You're one of those people who's not afraid to stand up for someone if they see that this person is being treated unfairly. So you're just kind of like, no, this is not cool at all. You're nice enough to like stand up for someone who can't really stand up for themselves. And people notice it, and they really appreciate it, and it means a lot to them. And I don't know, I feel like there's something like whimsical about you. You know, you're very in tune with the divine. You believe in science. You're open to all of these amazing opportunities that the divine is throwing your way, even if they seem like weird or just whatever, too small to even care about. You're always kind of paying attention and making sure that you do whatever you can to be in contact, be in touch with the higher power. And overall, I don't know, you just seem like a really friendly person that I would love to have as one of my friends, for instance. And I love the fact that you're like protective over someone who is weaker in a way, you know, not in a negative sense, but someone who really needs your help and whatever, for whatever reason. So you're just there to help them, and you do it with compassion, with love, and like you don't really want anything in return. You're just doing it because you know, like your moral compass is saying that this is the right thing to do. So you seem like a really awesome person, and no wonder people like you so much, okay? And then let's finally see the last card, which is kind of an advice card. Clarity. Let me trust my deepest instincts in all ways, especially when matters are unclear. May my own holy intuition always guide the way. Wow, so this is like the perfect finishing touch card for this reading, I think, because it's just encouraging you to really trust your intuition and trust the fact that your deeper self, your highest self, always knows what's best. It always knows what's right. It has all the answers you could possibly need. So anytime you're unsure about something, the most important thing you can do for yourself is tune into yourself and to maybe meditate or journal or do something that feels comfortable and right to you, and something that brings you closer to hearing this inner voice. And, you know, judging by these cards, you are in a connection with your inner voice and with the divine, but I guess you can never have enough of that. So anytime you do need clarity and something just doesn't really make sense in your life, please do whatever you can to tune into your spirit, to your higher self, and to your guides, and ask them for help, and ask to really fully understand and comprehend the situation on the deepest possible level. And that's exactly what's going to happen for you. So I hope this resonated with y'all, and I would love to hear some comments or suggestions for future readings. And if you'd like a personal one, please feel free to reach out via askyoursoul.org. I already have a number of readings available on there, but feel free to just, if you have any questions or you want like a personal reading that's not one of those that I have on the side, then definitely feel free to reach out and I'll see what I can do for you. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me, seriously. It's so special to see people subscribe. It's just really humbling, but it's also very exciting, you know, to see new people subscribe, even though, of course, it's taken a long ass time, but it's still super special to me. Like every single person who subscribed, I'm so tremendously grateful to you for that. That just really makes me motivated and makes me want to continue this work, because if I see that people actually benefit from it and they want to see it and they care, that's my only motivation for this, you know. Otherwise, like, what's the point? So anyway, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me, and I hope you guys and girls have an amazing rest of your day or night, and I look forward to doing more readings for you soon. Bye, beautiful souls.